The Egyptian pharaohs have fascinated people for centuries. Their incredible wealth, advanced technology, and mysterious deaths have inspired countless books, films, and TV shows. But there's one thing that might just top the list of things that make them so intriguing: their curses. You see, it's widely believed that if you disturb a pharaoh's tomb, you'll unleash a terrible curse that will bring bad luck to all who enter. And I don't mean like tripping over your shoelaces or spilling your coffee kind of bad luck. I'm talking about the kind of bad luck that can end lives. In fact, there are stories of explorers and archaeologists who have been driven insane or even killed simply by setting foot in a pharaoh's tomb. So let's take a look at some of the most famous pharaohs' curses and find out whether they're fact or fiction. The curse of the mummy. Now, this isn't technically a pharaoh's curse, but we couldn't talk about mummies without mentioning it. In 1922, an Egyptian official named Ali Bey discovered the tomb of the boy king Tutankhamun. And when he opened the sarcophagus, he was shocked to find that the mummy inside was wearing a necklace with a strange inscription. The inscription read, "Death shall come on wings of anger to anyone who violates the slumber of the Ka of Ankh-Mahor." And as if on cue, Ali Bey suddenly became very ill and died just a few hours later. Now, obviously, everyone started blaming the curse of the mummy, but there's a more rational explanation for what happened. You see, when Ali Bey discovered the tomb, he actually took something with him that wasn't his to take. He stole the necklace off of the mummy, and then promptly forgot where he put it. When he finally remembered and went back to the tomb to return it, he found that the mummy had apparently cursed him and caused him to die. Not so fast. It turns out that Ali Bey had actually stolen the necklace a few weeks earlier and had been wearing it around his neck the whole time. So maybe the real curse here was the friends we made along the way. The curse of the scarlet beetle. Let's travel back in time a little over 3,000 years ago to ancient Egypt. The year is 1323 BC, and the pharaoh Ramses V has just died. His successor, Ramses VI, was only 10 years old at the time and would need a regent to rule in his place until he came of age. Enter Queen Isis, who was the great royal wife of Ramses V and the mother of Ramses VI. She was the obvious choice to be regent, and she accepted the responsibility without hesitation. But not everyone was happy with Isis's ascension to power. In fact, there was one person in particular who was seething with jealousy: Horemheb, the royal scribe. You see, Horemheb had been passed over for the honor of becoming vizier, which was the second most important position in the kingdom. Instead, that position was given to Ramses V's brother, Prince Amun, and Horemheb was not happy about it. So he did something crazy. He wrote a letter to the royal court, accusing Prince Amun of plotting to overthrow the young pharaoh and replace him with himself. Now, as it turned out, Horemheb's accusations were false, but that didn't stop Prince Amun from being exiled and stripped of his title. With Prince Amun out of the way, Horemheb was finally able to secure the vizier position he had always wanted, but it wouldn't last. After only 2 years in power, Horemheb was forced to flee to the south after a rival official named Bey conspired against him and took his job. As punishment, Horemheb was ordered to die by the new pharaoh, Ramses VI. He was dragged before the altar of Ptah, the god of evil, and sentenced to death by cobra bite. But that wasn't the end of Horemheb's story. In fact, it was just the beginning. You see, when Horemheb was dragged before the altar of Ptah, he cursed the gods and the pharaoh, saying that both would meet a horrible end. Then he was bitten by a venomous snake and died. And soon enough, both the gods and the pharaoh did die. The temple of Ptah was destroyed in an earthquake, and Ramses VI was murdered by his own son, Ramses VII. Was it a coincidence, or was it the curse of the scarlet beetle? You decide. The curse of Akhenaten. Now, this one is a bit of a stretch, but it's still pretty fascinating. Akhenaten was one of the most controversial pharaohs in Egyptian history. He's best known for his radical religious reforms, which saw him abandon the traditional Egyptian pantheon of gods in favor of one single deity, the sun. This new religion was centered around the worship of Aten, and Akhenaten built several temples dedicated to the sun god during his reign. But not everyone was a fan of Akhenaten's new religion. In fact, there was a lot of opposition, both during his reign and after he died. Some scholars believe that Akhenaten's obsession with the sun god led to him neglecting his duties as pharaoh, and that his advisors effectively ran the kingdom while he was busy worshipping Aten. Others believe that Akhenaten's radical religious reforms were a thinly veiled attempt to seize control of the Egyptian priesthood and its vast wealth. Whatever the truth may be, Akhenaten's legacy is a controversial one, and there are many who believe that his spirit is still angry over the way he was treated both during his lifetime and after he died. One of the most famous stories about Akhenaten's curse comes from the British Museum, where his bust is on display. According to legend, anyone who stands in front of the bust and speaks ill of Akhenaten will be cursed by the pharaoh's spirit. While there have been no reported cases of this curse taking effect, it's still seen as bad luck to speak poorly of the former pharaoh in front of his bust. The curse of the Medinet Habu. The Medinet Habu is a temple complex built by Ramses III as a funerary monument, but the temple is also hiding a dark secret. Some say that anyone who enters the temple is cursed to die within 48 hours. This curse has already claimed many victims, including a group of tourists who were exploring the temple in 1987. 3 of the tourists died suddenly and mysteriously within hours of visiting the temple. Could this really be the curse of the Medinet Habu, or was there another explanation for the deaths? While there are no recorded instances of people dying after visiting the temple, there have been a number of strange occurrences that have led some to believe that the curse is real. For example, several visitors have reported hearing strange noises and seeing shadowy figures moving through the temple complex. Some have even claimed to see the ghost of Ramses III himself, wandering the halls of his final resting place. While these stories cannot be verified, they continue to add to the mystique of the Medinet Habu and its supposed curse. The truth is, with so many ancient tombs and artifacts hidden away in museums, it's almost inevitable that some of them are going to cause problems for those who try to study or display them. Whether these problems are due to genuine curses or simply coincidences is up for debate. What do you think? Are the pharaoh's curses real, or are they just stories meant to scare away treasure hunters? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.